Now we're no longer muted. We are live. Hello, everybody. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, you can. I can hear it on my phone. Yeah, maybe that was on. What about now? No, that was. Okay, cool. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Anything World live stream. I never know where to look. I was looking at the stream window. I got to the camera. And today we have Gordon here after a long time.
Hello, Jane. It's good to see you.
Right?
I know. I've been hiding.
You'll be making Jermaine work. Look at it this way. Today's your day to get revenge on all the horrible things Jermaine told about you in the previous streams.
Oh, what?
Yes.
I'll have to go back and watch those.
Oh, not horrible, but you know, he says that.
Oh, there's a bit of reverb, like two mics.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe it's because the desktop audio's on.
Okay, so desktop audio, and then I'm going to reduce the volume on the mics. Master Brockter, let us know if that's better, please.
Is it? You've got three mics in there. Audio input, camera, capture 3. What's that?
I don't know what that is.
This one is here.
Yep.
You have to sing into yours now.
And this one, yeah, that's, so this is 2, that is Mike. We should properly name these things, you know.
Mic 1, mic 2.
Yeah.
The image quality is great, but the audio quality is bad. Is it better now?
Maybe.
Maybe they can't hear us all. Upstairs girl is back.
Hello, upstairs girl. Okay, she's ignoring us. So,
Oh, they can hear us double.
it is echoey. Thank you, Amelia. So let's reduce the volume even more. See if that makes it better.
Maybe we have to switch one off.
Possibly, yeah. Let's see. Let's give it one more try.
Can I mess about?
Yeah, of course.
Is that better? Still double.
Yeah, let us know if it's still echoey, double.
Dropping in and out. Holy macaroni! Worst start to a stream ever. Bear with us, guys. But I do like the audio again.
We should be good at it this time, right?
But apparently we're not.
No, we're not. Definitely. Okay.
What do we do now? Let's just do an hour of this.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going. I mean, keep providing us feedback.
Yeah. How's it going now? Upstairs, girl, Sandy Lane. Is it still dropping in and out?
Maybe you
Maybe
can't hear us
at
all.
all. No. Quite bad, I must say. Okay, let's turn one of them off.
Okay. This one is which one? This one. I think we're not using this one actually. Okay, so that one. This one is off. I don't know which one that is. So let's mute this one.
Calling out into a canyon. I've done that before. Desperate times.
Okay, so now bring this mic a little bit to the center, and
Is it better now?
Is it better
It's
now?
better. That's better. What did you do, Jane?
I turn. So there's one mic. Maybe it's there. I feel so incompetent when I'm streaming because nothing works.
That's definitely the mic. This is the mic now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
We'll figure this one out.
Which means I'll be louder than you, Jake, which means you've got to talk.
That's okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, upstairs girl.
Yeah, thank you, Indie Gaming X. It's a rite of passage. But that's the thing. We go through this rite of passage every single week. You know.
But
anyway,
also makes people happy. Look how happy Amelia is. Upstairs girl.
Yeah.
Master
I mean,
Brockter.
when I talk to people that are doing live stream on LinkedIn and Twitter, I always say that one of the attractions is to see me stumbling between Unity and streaming and water and you know. But anyway, so
We've got a new sponsor today. We should mention. Sports Direct.
It's I only use it because it's the biggest mug in the office. So.
Jay is pretty quiet. I know why you're quiet, Jay. It's because the microphone's here.
That is not.
Yeah, I reckon I can fix it. I reckon I can do it right. How do you add a new audio source? Okay, maybe. Add
Yeah, and
audio.
only put input capture and just
Whoa.
no, just create a new one.
Learn
Because
how to stream. Okay, we got it.
So this, which one is this one? This is the Yeti.
Oh, I see the Yeti X or Yeti stereo microphone. So we're still playing the audio game. I hope you guys like this.
Use the Yeti stereo.
Yeah, we created the AI. Unfortunately, our artificial intelligence is intelligence, but our real intelligence is extremely low. So we can't work basic streaming stuff.
But let. Oh, that's not it. No, it's not. Yeah. So yes, then we created the AI. If you need help, yeah, let us know what you need help with.
Audio's fine. Okay, cool. You just speak up loud. Just said.
Okay,
okay.
I'll just speak louder. And great. So let's get started today. So today we'll be back to our Seagull game. So the past 2 weeks we did special streams about about animate anything. We did one in Unity, we did in Unreal, but today we're going back to everybody's favorite Seagull game. And today we are going to make our Seagull game look prettier using Unity's post-processing effects. Can't animate a horse then, man.
Why not?
Yeah, I know for a fact that horses work.
We have horses, yeah.
Yeah. Look, why don't we talk about it?
Why don't we talk about it?
By God, I give up on the mics. Dan, why don't we talk about email? Get in touch with us at hello@anything.world. Send us an email, tell you're Dan the Man from the stream, and I'll get back to you, and we'll sort it out. We're going to get your horse animated.
Has he had problems previously with a horse?
That's a good question. If you had problems before, yeah, let us know.
Horses are hard to animate. That's sometimes when we do shows, people are like, because I think it's a whole Red Dead Redemption thing, people are like, oh, can you animate a horse?
Okay.
So you can upload horses to animate anything. If you go to anything.world, you can add your own model in and we'll animate it for you. Or you can select from our existing library of horse, bovine, equine material.
But we did horses on...
bovine,
well, we did antelopes and animate anything, but you know.
Yeah, you can do horses. I put a horse to animate anything. So you should be able to do it. I'm an idiot and I managed to animate a man. Well, we're idiots and we're just about managing to run a stream, so we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, and you're not an idiot. Come on.
Oh.
And animate man, it's amazing. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm a programmer. I don't know the first thing about 3D modeling. I see the thing being rigged and animated automatically. That's, that I think that's amazing. But let's get back to Unity. Let's get to the topic at hand. Let's switch to the home monitor. And yeah, you saw the zebra on these. Yeah, zebras are great. And they're kind of like horses, so, Actually, I have a question. Nobody answered me that.
Is it about zebra stripes?
It's about 3D modeling. Okay, so the default pose for a humanoid is the T pose or the A pose, right? So the arm stretched. What's the name of the default pose, if there is a name at all, for four-legged animals? Is there a name? Because the standard pose is just them standing, right?
I believe it's called...
H pose.
Is it the H pose?
Is it? Is it true?
Upside down W pose?
All four legs out. No.
M pose.
No.
That's one leg missing. All four legs out.
M pose if you're looking... Yeah, that was a good one, Chili.
It's called the table pose.
You got me there for a second. Cool.
There was a question there. Can I animate...
Oh, there was a question?
Yeah, there was a question in the chat. So can I use existing assets for Jam as I'm programming? Yes, you can use existing assets for the Game Jam. Are you part of the beastly Game Jam, Dan the Man? Yeah. You can use your own 3D assets, your own static assets, upload them to animate anything, and we'll rig them and animate them for you. That's what the service does.
The only requirement is that you need to show us the cool things you're doing on any of our social medias, on Twitter or LinkedIn or TikTok, on our Discord server. Show us, because we love to see what people is doing. Great. Let us get back to the Seagull game. As you can see, the promised housekeeping of our hierarchy have not happened yet. It will happen, I promise.
When did you promise that?
50 streams ago.
Oh.
So, as I said, today we're going to use post-processing effects on our scene. Let me get closer to this. We're way too far away. Where's our Seagull? There it is.
There it is. Looks like it's been up all night.
Seagull's been waiting for us for 2 weeks now. So, our game looks okay. I mean, the 3D assets sure look great, but the post-processing effects enable you to give your game the unique look that. When I was a Unity, everybody used to joke around that a Unity game, a game made with Unity always looked like a game made with Unity because usually developers just use the standard lighting and standard materials, so kind of everything looked the same. So what we're going to do today is show you how to but how to not make your game look like the default standard Unity game, of course, besides doing amazing 3D models. So, to use post-processing effects, the first thing you do, so I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm going to call it my global volume.
Global volume. It's interesting you say that because that's what people used to say, not inside Unity. Definitely on Steam, made a couple of Steam games on Unity, made in Unity. And then, it looks like a Unity game. Oh, is it made in Unity? And if it doesn't look like, as you say, everyone's like, what? You made this in Unity? So it's definitely a thing that people expect Unity games to look a certain way. And to be fair, like the lighting out the box in Unreal is a lot nicer, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, and my line was that, you know, if you create a game in Unreal, Unreal have this shiny metallic like look. That out of the box it looks better in Unity, but still, you know, if you don't do anything about it, it's going to look like a standard.
Faces are going to be too shiny.
Exactly. The jam haven't started yet. Sorry to hear that. How do you feel about Unity new rules of payment?
What a hot potato! You're throwing that to us, Dan.
Exactly.
We love Unity and we love the new rules of payment. I don't know. We do like Unity. We've been using Unity for a long time, but I feel like that new payment system, 90% of the company knew it was a bad idea, and 10% forced it through. I think that's a couple of people's decisions. I don't have any insight into it, but it's obviously a bad idea that they're backtracking on. So hopefully they come back in people's estimation.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they did already.
They backtracked all of it, did they?
Pretty much.
Yeah. It was a misstep for sure.
Yeah, the good news is that, you know, I have a lot of friends that still work at Unity, and they said that, you know, the glass half full was that, you know, developers in general, people in the real world, I mean, they understood that, as you said, the decision was taken by a handful of people up top, right? So the guys on the floor, it wasn't their fault.
No,
so everybody was pretty decent. And
of course.
And so that's good. So I created an empty game object.
He did. Sorry, we're still chatting about that.
Oh yeah.
The CEO did step down over the whole thing. That is correct.
Yeah.
Dan Riccicello, was it something?
John Riccicello.
So that job opening is open if anybody wants to apply.
Yeah. I sent my resume.
Did you? Okay.
Waiting to hear from them at any moment. Okay, an empty game object. I'm going to start by adding the volume component. And on the volume components, I have the mode. Global and local. Today I'll be using global, and the difference is so global pretty much going to apply the effects on the entire on your entire scene, and local is only going to apply the effects on a specific part of your scene. So local is useful when you're doing stuff like a cave or an underwater part of your scene where you want to do like blurry effects, bluish tint. But they're going to global because we just want to see what the effects do. So I create the volume, and then I need to create the profile, and we don't have a profile yet, so I'm just going to click on new, and then I can start doing my adding my post-processing effects by clicking on the Add Override button. But before I do that, there's something really important you need to check. If I go to main camera and on the rendering part of my camera component, you have this post-processing checkbox. If it is unchecked, no matter what you add, nothing's going to show up. So I'm going to enable.
Secret checkbox.
Yeah.
4 hours later, why is it not working? You didn't do the secret checkbox.
How many times did it happen? You know. So you add, you enable post processing. I'm going to go back to my global volume game object, and then now I can start. Oh, I cannot, because there's one other point that you need to do, because some of the post processing effects require HDR to be enabled.
What's HDR?
I'm going to get to that. It's a very good question.
Thank you.
If you're using the Anything World package from the asset store, you already have this set up. But if you don't, then you need to go to your URP settings and just enable HDR. As I said, we're using the Anything World package. That's set up already. So we can get started using post-processing effects. I'm going to go over most of them, and then we're going to apply a few of them to our game. So let's start with tone mapping. And what is tone mapping? So tone mapping is going to take your HDR color space. And as Gordon asked, what's HDR? HDR stands for High Dynamic Range. And in a nutshell, HDR allows you to add more color data to an image. So that gives you greater control on how your game looks. And of course, you know, for HDR to work, you need to have an HDR. You need to have a device, a TV or a monitor that supports HDR. If it doesn't support HDR, effects are not going to work to that person, right? And that is pretty clear over. I used to have a TV that didn't support HDR, and the HDR options were just disabled by default and could not enable them. But so tone mapping, it takes this HDR color space, which, as I say, contains more colors, and translates that information to an image that you're able to show in a monitor. And if I enable tone mapping and I set one of the options, you can see the results right away, right? So, and you have two options. You have neutral and ACS. And ACS is the industry standard tone mapper. If you search for it, you're going to find details on how it works exactly. But you can see the difference. So these are seen with no tone mapping. If I enable tone mapping, it's a little bit darker. And then you can adjust that, of course, with more post-processing effects, lighting. But that's essentially what tone mapping does. I'm going to keep it disabled for now. Actually, no, let's keep it enabled. Next, let's talk about white balance. And here's white balance. So white balance enables you to adjust the color temperature of your scene between cold, which is going to have more of a bluish tint, to yellow, to more warmish tint, which is yellow. If I enable the temperature here and I move around the slider, you can see that
that's freezing.
Yep, and that's a warmer, yellowier, right? I don't know. One thing that I was playing around earlier, and one thing that bothers me in the scene is just the color of the sky, which is greenish, right? Again, I'm not an artist. I managed to make it slightly better, but it is one of the things that kind of annoy me about this scene. So if I reduce the temperature, you can see that the sky now is slightly better. It's like bluer. So to me, that looks better, right? Another way to set the balance is by changing the tint, which is going to do the same thing but between green, so if and purple. But the bottom line is this feature is called white balance because the objective, it was originally created in order to make white things look white in your scene. So I can use these clouds. So I just disabled white balance, so I'm back to the original. And the clouds, they look a little bit yellowy, right? And you can see the top of this mountain here. And if I enable white balance and the way I set it up, I don't know if it is a placebo effect, but it looks whiter, doesn't it?
I think it does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, James.
Sure.
Do all these post-processing effects, they work in the scene view as well as the game view?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Do they?
Are in the scene
They didn't
view.
used to, did they?
Oh, yes.
did they? Or is it?
Yeah. So if I go to the game view, you can see that it's.
Oh, no, but do they work in the scene view? Everything works in the scene view as well?
Oh, yeah. The scene view. We were in the scene view. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it on scene view as well.
Okay, cool.
One important aspect you asked me and it remembered is something that we're not going to cover today, but I'm gonna put the warning out is that post-processing effects have performance impacts. Right? Some demand more performance, some don't demand that much performance, but every single one of them is going to cause a performance impact in your game. And of course, smaller / older devices, they're gonna have less processing power, so that can cause a huge impact. So whenever you use post-processing effects in your games, make sure to test on devices, use the profiler to check for bottlenecks. What we're doing here is just to show you that they're available, but maybe if you enable them, that's going to cause an impact in your game. So just be mindful of that. So we've talked about white balance a lot. Now let's talk about color adjustment. And as the name, what do you think color adjustment does, Gordon?
Does it change the sound effects?
Almost. So color adjustment allows you to tweak colors, brightness, color brightness and contrast of your image. One way to make your scene look brighter is to have ACS enabled on tone mapping like we have, and enable the post exposure and increase the post exposure a little bit, and that's going to make your scene look slightly brighter. Our scene was looking a bit darker. I mean, the colors are nice, but it was a bit dark. So when you put hello, Gordon.
Oh, hello.
If you
look, that's me from LinkedIn saying hello. Sorry to interrupt. I was just chatting to. It's so cool that we stream on LinkedIn as well, isn't it? It's crazy that quite a few people join from LinkedIn.
Yes, it's
Sorry.
it's nuts.
So I'm just here to be disruptive.
That's okay. So post exposure ACS is can give you a brighter scene. Like again, this is after, this is before. This looks better. Great. Next, I'm not component. I'm going to go to override, and there is the channel mixer.
That's right, Dan. You change the color, it does actually change the sound.
That's what's the name of that. That's synesthesia.
Synesthesia, yeah.
Synesthesia.
I used to make rhythm games. The first commercial game I made was a game called Little Line on iPhone, like 200 years ago, and it was like a visualization of dubstep. You could ride through it. It had that kind of synesthetic. What's the word? Feel. I love that when you feel the music, or you feel like you're, moving through music and colors and stuff. It's interesting, isn't it, to give the impression of, traveling through music. So another distraction.
No, that's okay.
But that's what Dan's talking about. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
Some people do hear colors in that weird sense.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It is insane. So, Channel Mixer allows you to add and tinker with colors in each one of the channels. So, you want to add a little bit of green to your red channel, you can. Now, this one is is way beyond my understanding of how to use, but it is there and you can use it.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm being disrupted. Chippy Flip has mentioned Res. That's my favourite game.
Really?
Yeah.
I never played Res.
Much respect to you, Chippy Flips.
I never
Yeah,
played
Res is amazing. You can play it in VR as well if you've got a VR headset on Steam. I think that's the best way to play. I don't know if you've played it in VR, Chippy Flips. I like the name as well. It sounds like a delicious snack. American snack. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So I'm going to keep channel. Well, channel because I'm not doing anything. Just leave it there. Next, we're going to talk about color curves. And color curves are incredibly versatile. They allow you to make... Geez, Res is a PlayStation 2 game? Is it that old?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I think it... Did it not come out on Dreamcast originally?
Wow, really?
I think so. I had it. I didn't have a Dreamcast. I
Does
could
it-
pretend I had a Dreamcast. It would be cooler. Because all the cool kids have Dreamcast. But I think it came out on Dreamcast, but it was on PS2. I had it on PS2 as well. But yeah.
Wow.
It's such a good game. It's such a good game.
It's crazy. I had a
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Did you? There you go. Cool kid.
I
See?
loved my Dreamcast.
Everybody's going, oh, I love my Dreamcast now.
Yeah.
All the hardcore gamers love their Dreamcast, but I never had one. Maybe we
was,
should buy one now and pretend I always had one.
it was a great console. It was
it
pretty
was.
good. So, color curves. They're super versatile. They allow you to adjust lightning and brightness of the image, but it also allows you to make some very cool effects, which you're going to show in a second. So as you can see here, there's a couple of axes. So I have the x-axis and the y-axis. And the x-axis represents the light in your scene, the light input, essentially from the lights in your scene. And the y-axis represents the output, so what your screen is going to show, right? In order to change it, I need to click on override, and let's say if I want the brighter areas of my scene to look darker, I just move it down here, and you can see that my Seagull, which was super bright, now is...
Well, we're in here, we're making it like psychedelic.
Yeah, exactly. Then if I want to make the darker parts brighter, I just move this one up, but then, I just...
Yeah. Solar flare.
overexposing everything, right? And of course, I can add keys to the curve and adjust it locally, like this, It's
Ooh, I like that one.
gives you a lot of liberty in the way that the colors are shown in your scene. This is it's called the master, but you can also adjust it by channel, and then you can adjust it between hue and saturation. And I've used that for a little bit to improve the blue of my sky, and I can do that going, for instance, on hue versus saturation. And I'm going to say I'm going to enable override, and then I can add a key to the bluish tint of my sky, and actually add something like this.
You made it bluer.
And it's overall everything looks bluer, but
The sky particular.
the sky particularly, right? So this way I can change how blue my sky looks, so it looks better, doesn't it?
It does. How do you know all this stuff, Jane? Because I made even console games in Unity. I didn't know all these. I put a couple of. I loaded up a few post-processing effects because you worked at Unity. You know the ins and outs of all the color grading. Is that how?
Yeah, I mean it's it's funny. It's part tinkering, part play to your strengths. Meaning, so we're working on this scene, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed, and I mean, when you're doing a demo, it's different than when you're developing it.
Yeah.
But I noticed, okay, the sky doesn't look blue.
No.
So I'm going to, if I want to showcase these things, I'm going to showcase it by making the sky look blue, right? And then, and then you adjust to that.
Cool.
And then you practice. And
I'm impressed.
oh, no, it's okay. And one other cool thing you can do with color curves is this. what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to reset my curve here. I'm going to redo it after, and then just to, there's 2, okay. And I'm going to take my curve. I have to, okay. And I'm going to move it all the way down. And everything is black and white because I just removed color from my scene. But then I am going to add a key over here on green, and well, how that worked again? Was it? Maybe I should have another one here and another one here, something like that. There you go. So now my whole world is black and white except for my green trees, and then I can make it even more trippier by going on the hue versus hue, and I can override it. I always forget to add the override. And then I can change the color of my green to another tint. So you can do a lot of very trippy stuff. And of course, you can always alter that at runtime as well. So
That's what I was going to say. Can you control it by code at runtime?
yes, we are going to do that.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe, you know, well, time longer today, but yes, we're going to alter stuff in runtime. So let's get back to our nice blue sky. How about that? What was that again? There's a key here and a key here and a key in the middle, and yeah, there you go, nicer. Cool. So this is, you know, color curves are my favorite. Although again, it's just because it's not being an artist. I always look for the things that gives you more bang for your buck. So I just tinker around, dragging little curves around that I see a lot of changes in my scene. So that's why I love color curves. Now, the next two overrides are tools for color grading, and they are shadows, midtones, and highlights. And again, it's a tool to adjust lower light parts of your scene, halfway, and the higher light parts of your scene. So if I want my shadows to look, I don't know, maybe redder, and how would I adjust that? Maybe something like this. And you can see that the tunnel, especially the tunnel here, have a redder tint. And if I move this around, you probably can see some change.
Because at the moment, like the trees and stuff, they're not casting a shadow, are they?
They're not casting shadows. Yeah, it's more like the darker. This is After Effects level color control. That's complete script very cool. It is, Eric. It is really cool. And I can imagine it's even cooler for people who know what they're doing, unlike me. You know, I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know the theory behind it. Let's put it like that. And then there's also, as I said, lift, gamma, and gain, which is similar to shadows, midtones, highlights, but then with adjusting lift, gamma, and gain. After that, you also have split toning. So split toning allows you to set the shadows and highlights of your scene to a specific color. So let's say I can change the highlights on my scene to a redder tone, and then you can see how the sky, especially the sky, which is, I think, is the brighter part of my scene, it goes really red. So maybe if I, yeah, but then everything gets a bluish tint. So I don't know. I mean, the sky looks blue, but everything else is looking very blue as well. I'm not gonna keep that. I think it was looking nicer like this. Yeah. But anyway, split toning allows you to adjust the light on adjust the color tint of the brightest parts of your scene and of the darker parts of your scene. Now, so we've been talking about, so most of the effects we've seen so far are related to color, and now we are going to start seeing some more visual overall effects, starting with bloom.
Yes. Everybody's favorite bloom.
Everybody's favorite bloom.
Lots of people overdo it, and I overdo it as well because it looks so good.
It's funny, right? Because bloom, either it looks amazing or it looks horrible.
I always stick bloom up to 50 million or whatever it goes.
Really?
I think so, yeah. A lot of games, a lot of indie games do it as well, don't they?
Yes, true. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, bloom allows the bright areas of your scene to bleed, to go beyond their
bounds.
Their bounds. Thank you. Their bounds. Yes. So when I was playing around with bloom, oddly enough, the thing that, because we don't have a lot of lighting in our scene, we only have a directional light, and that's that for now. So the thing that shone bloom the most was actually the Seagull.
What's that?
When you
increase
the intensity.
Heavenly Seagull.
The heavenly Seagull, exactly.
So when it dies, it can go up to heaven, and we can turn the bloom up to.
Right, look at that. That's true. Look, see. So that's, and of course you can change the tint, and you can make a redder bloom.
It does look cooler with a little bit of bloom, doesn't it?
A little bit, but that's the thing. But the things in our scene, they're not
don't
supposed
really
to
lend themselves to it, do they? No.
Yeah, they're not. So I mean, it is nice for things that are supposed to have this brightness, right?
Mm.
And like you see the on the roads, the side of the roads. Yeah. But anyway, so bloom allows you to have this shiny, brighty, heavenly effect. Funny you say heavenly. Yeah. Maybe because of maybe because of the Lord of the Rings movies, I always associate bloom with elves.
Elves?
Because every elf in Lord of the Rings have bloom.
Behind them and their ears and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the bloom effect from Blender. Yeah, Eric. It's. I think it is the same. Okay, so after bloom, there's another favorite, and we're going to use it a little bit later. It's the chromatic aberration, which is essentially it's a crappy lens effect where the colors, they split in the edges of the scene. So if I increase the intensity of my chromatic aberration, you can see. Yeah. Thank
you very much, Julie. Could you not see us on the stream? I thought that was.
Julie just added bloom to our stream.
It's like at the end of the night when the club closes down and the lights come on, isn't it? Yeah. Everybody's going to be like, whoa!
I think Julie's trying to tell us something.
Yeah, we're going to look at the stats on the streams. We did drop off after 47 minutes. What happens? That's what happens.
So yeah, you can see chromatic aberration on the edges of our... hello, Aggie. On the edges of our scene, especially in the trees.
This is one of my favorites as well, chromatic aberration. So I would stick this up. I would stick bloom up, and then we're talking.
Let's see. So a lot of blue, a lot of chromatic aberration.
Okay, no, that's too much. That's too much. Now you're being silly.
Okay,
but a little bit of each. It makes it look better, I think.
Like this?
Less. Okay, yeah, stop. And then less chromatic aberration. Go down to like... bit less. Yeah, that looks better, I think, than without. No, try without. If you turn them off.
Both?
Yeah.
Ooh. Bloom before.
Yeah.
After.
I couldn't even tell the bloom difference, could you? Maybe it needs more bloom. I can't tell the difference. More bloom, please. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, now I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
I am not going to enable the chromatic aberration because... No. We are going to use it in the game. But we're going to use it a lot just to show the nice people on the stream that this happening.
Fair enough. Aggie's got a question. I've not been here for welcome. What's the game about? So we're Anything World. We bring 3D models to life using AI. So we animate objects at scale and make it available in Unity and Unreal. And we also let you animate your own 3D models if you have static 3D models. And we're making a Seagull game with our platform, basically, and doing a live stream every week.
And since you've just joined us, Aggie, I'm going to give you a quick run of the game. So it is on the game.
Oh, we get to see the game.
Yeah.
I can put a Discord server in for you as well, I think.
So here in the game, you control the Seagull, and the Seagull has been animated by Anything Road. And you fly around, and your goal is to eat stuff. So your Seagull gets bigger. So if I eat a lot of chips, my Seagull gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Just like in real life.
Just like in real life. And the bigger you get, the bigger stuff you can eat. And the goal is for the Seagull to eat everything. It's based on, if you ever played, we were talking about old games, about PlayStation 2 games. This is based on Katamari Damacy, which is an old, crazy, mad game where you just roll the ball and the ball would just collect stuff and your ball get bigger, and as it gets bigger, you collect bigger stuff. So it's inspired by that. And another unique selling point of our streams is that we are using Unity's visual scripting, which is, we realized that it's very hard to find content on visual scripting, and we decided to use that. Although today we're going to cheat a little bit later, but 95% of our game is going to be using visual scripting. And we're talking about chromatic aberration. We're going to use it in the game. I'm going to disable it for now. After chromatic aberration, we have film grain. And if chromatic aberration simulated crappy lenses, film grain just simulates old film stock, right? So if I enable, again, I'm going to enable it all the way up to 11 so people can,
Oh, yeah. That looks better.
can see the effect.
Oh, no. The other one looked better before.
It did.
Not that one.
Oh, I'm just putting,
Oh.
just so we can clearly see the
Sorry. It is true that as you layer up these effects, you can get that look and feel that you like. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You see. You know, it's already looking.
Yeah, the bloom looks
Oh,
cool.
the blue looks really
See?
good on the yellow.
Bloom looks cool. What did I tell you?
It looks really good on the
Yeah,
yellow.
bloom always looks good.
And the yellow
Bloom to the
elements.
max.
Yeah, look at that. And you know what?
You know what? We should change the particles on the wings. Is
Definitely, it's on the to-do list.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna put some nice effects on that.
But it already looks much cooler, doesn't it?
It does. No, it
Yeah.
does definitely. It gives you a sense of movement. Yeah, and I mean the grain doesn't look too bad either. You know. But you think it's too much, right?
The grain?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one you have looked better. The first filter, what was
That
that?
was the thin one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that looks better.
We're
Yeah.
gonna keep the.
Hi, Eric.
Eric, how are you? Eric's a very good friend of mine.
Ah, I was
I know
gonna
him from
say.
Brazil. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
He works with Exit Games.
Yeah.
On Fulton. And Eric, you were the developers of Stumble Guys, were you? Or I know you were involved with Stumble Guys in some capacity. I can't recall exactly what. But anyway, good to see you. And okay, so I see film grain, and now another fact we're gonna use later is vignette.
Everyone loves a vignette. That's why I put on all my Instagram shots.
It's a perennial favorite as well. And so the vignette is just, how do you describe vignette? It's just like this frame that you put on your screen, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's better shown, right? So if I increase the intensity of my vignette, you just have this.
That's at the end of the game,
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, as you take damage,
yeah? Whoa.
we're going to increase the vignette as, that's good. Yeah, also you wrote the original prototype of Stumble Guys. Yeah, that's nice.
Cool.
Stumble Guys.
Whoa.
I pressed the.
That's the wrong
lever.
button there, James.
We should play Stumble Guys on one of our streams.
We should.
Yeah.
I'm up for it. Let's do it.
So yeah, so we're going to use vignette in our game in a second, and then after vignette we have depth of field.
I know I keep saying every one of these is my favorite, but depth of field is also a must.
Really,
Oh yeah.
something that I always wanted to learn and always postpone is how to properly operate a camera.
Yeah.
So depth of field is something that I always wanted to learn how to properly.
Right,
So,
right.
again, depth of field is the one that I just play around with the sliders and
Yeah,
see
of
the
course,
result.
yeah.
And there are a couple of depth of field types, modes. So one is Gaussian, which is more formula / mathematical inclined, and we can see it, depth of field in action. As you can see, we have our Seagull in focus, but the rest is blurry. And actually,
You need to mess with the distance a bit and put it further back.
but it looks pretty good. Look at that.
It looks cool, yeah.
Because the building is in focus, and it gives that tilt shift.
I was going to say there's a tilt shift post processing effect as well, isn't there?
No, I think
Is there not a specific one?
There's not a
Doesn't there used to
specific
be?
one. Maybe.
Because tilt shift makes everything look miniature, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's depth of field and something else. So there may be somebody on the stream knows.
Possibly, yeah. And you see out of the box, I just clicked three checkboxes, and it already looks very unique, right? Look at the
Depth of field is cool, yeah.
God, that looks so good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But I think the distance needs to be increased a little bit.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay,
Sorry,
let's-
I'm just,
No. Absolutely. Let's. Oh God. Let's give it a try. So.
Don't worry, Maya, nobody can hear you creeping upstairs.
Let me just rotate the Seagull so you can see the other side, and this way we can.
Depth of field sets the focal plane. I don't even know what a focal plane is, Chippy Flip, but it definitely it adds like a blurring effect to things after a certain distance, or according to a formula, right? So it keeps the stuff closer in focus and like kind of progressively blurs out the further the distance goes. Something like that.
So you think that things should?
I think in one of them you get to do the start. Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
I think I need to increase the start so things see. Now this is in focus. See?
Yeah.
You can see. You cannot
Yeah.
actually see the limit. So here in this brown building, like the AC units are out of focus, and if I play around with it, slides are going to get in focus.
You got the start and the end there. You got the start above the end. So what was it, 30 before? So maybe put it like 30 and 60 or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course. 30 and 60, something like that.
Ooh, I don't even know if that looks better.
Oh my.
Maybe I should shut my big mouth.
No. It
Does it look
damn,
better?
it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is Gaussian and it's based on mathematical formulas, but
Eric, it is a focal plane.
bokeh have camera-like settings. So I have focal length, aperture, which is, again, as I said, I always wanted to learn how to manipulate these things. Never did. But if you know how to play around with these things, amazing. Let's stick with Gaussian and our very lovely. Damn, this looks really.
You're impressed with your own work.
I'm impressed.
You're like, whoa, check.
I'm impressed. Yeah. Okay. So this depth of field. The next one is motion blur.
As a bit of fun, at the end, I'm sure you've got this planned, right? We can just turn off the whole global volume and then see what it looked like at the start, right?
Oh, the before and after, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm going to throw this all the way. When I was testing earlier, the movement of the Seagull was not fast enough to detect the motion blur. Let's give it a try. Let's see if we can see it here. Then again, we can do a before and after. When
you move the camera, you can.
Yeah, when you move sideways, you can notice the motion blur. I mean,
it's too much, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I put it all the way to 11.
Yeah. Cool.
We're just going to reduce it a little
That would
bit.
make you sick if you have to do that.
Absolutely.
That's like the drunk simulator on GTA, isn't it? When you get drunk. That
Mm-hmm.
bit. That's what it reminds me of.
So let's see. I just set it halfway, and maybe that's going to look better. Yeah. Or is it too much? I think it's too much.
I think it's still too much. I think. It's a question of like taste, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it at 25. Let's do one more test and see how it looks.
Motion blur. I'm singing the motion blur song right slowly.
Yeah, that looks
go.
nice. It is. I'm still,
You're still
flabbergasted.
The key things for me: bloom, depth of field.
Yeah.
Those are the two killers for me. Like, They cheaply give you like a lot.
Well, and the color adjustments we did. Maybe,
Yeah,
the skylinks.
Okay.
But we're going to do. We have 3 more to go, and then we're going to do.
You got a vignette, or you haven't got a vignette on as well. Sometimes a little bit of a dark vignette, like as a standard, gives you a nice look as well. Or what do you think?
But the thing is, I wanted to use the vignette to signal damage, you know, and to teach people how to manipulate it via code.
Okay.
If we don't use vignette for damage, a little bit of vignette, it would look nice.
Yeah, but vignette. Eric's got a suggestion.
Should
you
just turn the 10 beer?
I don't know what you mean, Eric. Do you know what Eric means?
But this one goes to 11.
Ah, okay, got it. Yeah.
Because I said that I set motion blur all the way to 11.
Ah, okay.
Eric is a man approacher. He got
right. It's a Spinal Tap reference.
Yeah.
That film, my dad loved that film. We watched it every Christmas.
The film is pretty good.
It is good, isn't it? I haven't seen it for a number of years. I've probably seen it 400 times.
And the funny thing is, have you seen Better Call Saul?
Yes.
You know Saul's brother, Chuck.
Vaguely.
He's one of the members of Spinal Tap.
Is he? I didn't know.
It's crazy. It's very funny to see him in Spinal Tap.
You know, I met a guy last time I was in America, and he was he's a manager for an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I just met him through my girlfriend actually, and he was like, yeah, I used to be an actor. It's LA, right? So I used to be an actor in a little film called Wayne's World, and I was like, what? Wayne's World? Because obviously,
sure,
you remember Wayne's World if you're old like me.
Uh-huh.
And he was one of the main guys in the car doing the head banging and
really?
stuff. Yeah, long hair guy, long blonde hair. And I was like, what? And
That's
then looked
amazing.
him up, and it's like, yeah, that kind of stuff is funny. Hat guy is echoing, or is it me? That's me, hat guy.
I'm gonna guess it is you.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Sorry, Dan.
Owen, first of all, welcome. Don't worry that you missed the start of the stream. Did you do all this level today? No, I think this is the 7th or 8th stream in the series. The good news number 1 is that you can catch all the previous streams on our Twitch channel, and I believe on LinkedIn as well. I noticed that you're watching us from LinkedIn. I believe that you can watch them on LinkedIn as well. And good news number 2 is that we are sharing this project on Bitbucket, and we have a branch for each one of the episodes. So if you want to get it from the start, you just get branch number 1 or number 2, number 3, etc. So this is an ongoing series where we are creating this game. So shame you missed the start of the stream, but just stay with us. You're gonna learn some stuff. You're gonna have some fun, have some laughs. It's pretty good. The next one, so we're talking about motion blur. Next one is lens distortion. So lens distortion helps you to, as the name says, distort the image. You can make a fisheye effect or a high speed effect. We're going to use lens distortion later. So our Seagull, let's disable lens distortion for a second. Our Seagull have 2 speeds, so you can.
I've moved away from the mic to stop the echoing. Hopefully it helps.
You can fly on regular speed, and then you can glide, and you fly slightly faster. And so later we're going to do when you're gliding, we're going to apply chromatic aberration and lens distortion to give the effect that the Seagull is flying faster. So that's what lens distortion does. So it's just again, high speed, fisheye, very exaggerated, but that's the best way of showing post-processing effects. Next one is the Panini projection.
This one I have never heard of.
Yeah, me neither. I heard about it when I was preparing for this. So what Panini projection does is this. I'm going to go to my camera and I'm going to increase the field of view of my camera. So default 60, just going to put it all the way up, right? And you can see that there's a lot of distortion. And what the Panini projection does is help with adjusting this distortion. So it makes it slightly, I've exaggerated on the field of view, so it's going to look horrible. But let's be a little bit more reasonable here. So the Panini projection allows you to have a wider field of view without too much of distortion, right? So that's what the Panini projection does. We're not going to
That is handy.
we're going to tinker with our field of view, so let's just go back to. Oh my God!
What happens?
Oh,
It got confused. I thought I got confused.
just Unity being Unity. Eric, you said the series is on LinkedIn and where else? Definitely want to look through these. So you can catch the recordings on Twitch. Just look for Anything World on Twitch. And I am not entirely sure
They're on YouTube as well,
if
right?
they're on YouTube.
They are on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube
yeah.
keeps them forever, right? Twitch only keeps them for a couple of weeks. Is that how it works?
Really?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But anyway, so Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube. Eric, if by any chance you can't find them, just again send an email to hello@anything.world.
Or join us on Discord, which I will
Join.
link to
Oh
now.
yeah, join us on Discord. Gordon is going to put the link for Discord on the chat. Just say, hey, I'm Eric from the stream. I'm looking for. I asked about the previous recordings. Where can I find them? And I'll be more than glad to help you. I never introduced myself. I'm Jay Santos, by the way. I'm Developer Relations Manager here at Anything World.
They're all on
thank you,
YouTube,
Sam.
yay!
They're all on YouTube. There you go.
And I'm Hat Guy, Gordon.
Hat guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hat guy. Yeah.
Amazing. They were on YouTube. That's perfect.
So let's get back to our global volume. And the last one is anti-aliasing. Where is it? Oh, anti-aliasing actually is not on the post-processing. Anti-aliasing...
on the camera, isn't it?
It's on the camera.
This is
Exactly.
also a must.
Yep.
I'm surprised we haven't got it on already. Have we not got anything on?
We do have, so our URP settings have anti-aliasing enabled already, but you also can. Actually, the best way to show anti-aliasing in action is doing this. I'm going to zoom in on my Seagull, and
Look at that guy.
it was pretty good on the wing that's on the diagonal, and of course it's looking a little bit jagged because I zoomed in. But if I disable anti-aliasing, looks even worse. And here at the back of these buildings here, you can see it as well. But you can also enable it on the camera. And where is it? Here you go, anti-aliasing. And you have two options on the camera. The first one is the FXAA, second one SMAA. The difference essentially is FXAA is cheaper in terms of processing. SMAA yields better results. So
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because this happened before. This is one of the more expensive effects, right?
anti-aliasing, yes,
Yeah.
for sure, definitely. So if I enable, it's doing this blue. So if I enable FXAA again, pay attention to the Seagull wing, and you can see anti-aliasing in action. And oh my God, stop doing this blue thing, Unity.
I'm glad you wear hats as well, Dan. It's,
Well-
it's the natural choice for the follically challenged.
Yes. So that's it in terms of the post-processing effects. And as Gordon says, so let's have a look at the before and after. So the ones we are using here, we're using tone mapping, white balance to make our, I essentially used white balance to make our sky look bluer. What else are we using? I use a little bit of color adjustment to make my scene look brighter. I'm not using channel mixer actually, and I'm using color curves again to make my sky look a little bit more blue. We're using a little bit of bloom and depth of field and motion blur. So this is what our game looks right now, and this is what our game looked an hour ago.
Ugh. Put it back on, put it back on. This looks like a baby game and this looks like a professional game. It's
So
like
you
that
see, see, we were talking about the Unity look and feel, right, at the beginning of the stream, and look how different our game looks with less than an hour of effort, because we've been doing a lot of banter, and it's well worth to check out post-processing effects to give your game a completely different look. And again, as I said before, this has a processing cost. Make sure to keep monitoring the performance of your game to avoid, if you don't keep, I always said to, always check your game running on your target device, check the profiler, make sure that you don't have bottlenecks, because if you start developing your game and 1 year later you have performance issues, then you have a year's worth of culprits, of suspects, right? Not culprits, of suspects. And then you have to analyze everything in your game and try to find your bottleneck. If you do it regularly, you check it today. Today's fine. A week later, okay, now I have performance issues on my game. So what have I done this past week? Anyway, post-processing effects have a performance cost. Be mindful of that. Great. So, we've seen these performance effects, and now what we're going to do is we have been changing them and tinkering with them in development time, right? But what about runtime? How do you manipulate these at runtime? And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things. So first of all, just a recap of what happens in our game. We have our Seagull, and our Seagull starts with a size of 1 meter, and if I eat something that is smaller than the Seagull, our Seagull gets bigger, so now I have a size of 1.1. But if I try to eat something that is bigger than the Seagull, like the shark, what happens is I bonk my head.
Oh,
and
you got some feather effects now. Whoa, the shark's wobbling. Oh no, he was doing that all the time, was it?
And yeah, it was doing all the time. And
that was a shockwave.
And the feathers have bloom.
Yes, they do. So much cooler it looks.
So every time I bonk my head on the shark, my size gets smaller. And if I get smaller than half a meter, it's going to happen soon. It is game over. So what I want to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to add a vignette effect. If I get smaller than 1 meter, I start to get a vignette effect to show that my character is taking damage, right? And the way I'm going to do that is, sadly, I said before, we are using visual scripting to do all the logic in our game. So everything you've seen, Seagull movement, the Seagull getting bigger, UI manipulation, collision detection, all of that is we're doing using visual scripting, but visual scripting still do not support the rendering class that we need to use to manipulate the post-processing effects. So specifically this part, we're going to have to use good old C#. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder. So let's create a folder called scripts. And here I'm going to create a C# script called Visual Effects Control. Now let's open it up. Did it open? Or?
I do not know.
I don't think I double clicked it.
You definitely tried to open in something. Is it in a different program? Or?
There you go.
There we go. Boom.
Great. Should I increase the font size to the nice people at home?
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that.
And I'm not gonna lie, for me as well, because
it's a massive monitor. What's the resolution of this monitor? It's an absolute monster.
there you go.
Boom. There we go.
No, that's too much. Okay. So we're going to start by having a reference to our volume profile. And let's call it volume profile. Oh, no. It's lowercase volume profile. Okay. And No, just go away. It did not give me the. So let's save this, and I'm gonna narrow Unity. Maybe when it compiles. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. And I need to add the Unity engine.rendering and Unity engine.rendering.universal. Okay, let's see if this goes away. Okay, good. So we're going to have a reference to our volume profile. The volume profile is the Unity global volume is the profile that Unity creates when we first started working with our global volume, and it has all the configurations that we did for our post-processing. So we're going to keep a reference for that because we're going to be manipulating it, and then I'm going to create a private, what is that? The vignette. Let's call it V. And on my start, I'm going to do a volume profile. Try get. I'm going to try to get the vignette.
Oh boy, it's really raining out here now. If anyone's based in the UK, you might be getting drenched. You can also do rain effects on post-processing, right?
The easier way is with particle effects.
Yeah. Or we could do both, like that. Like, you know, like when you have like mist or water dripping off, or looks like dripping off the camera lens. Isn't that not a post-processing effect?
No, I don't think. Well, maybe not out of the box from Unity. Like
no.
Something you had to do by yourself.
Yeah. Because you can have like a particle effects, and then it looks like there's raindrops on the camera, and that could be a post-processing effect with an image.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I was just chatting because it's raining very hard, and I don't have an umbrella or a coat with me.
So now I'm going to create a couple of functions here, and these functions I'm going to call my visual effect or my visual program. So public void enable vignette, which is going to get a boolean, and I'm going to set v.active equals b. And actually at the beginning, I'm just on the safe side, v.active equals false. And I also going to have a public void set vignette, which is going to receive a float f, which is going to be the Seagull size. And I already did the math beforehand, and I'm going to set the intensity of my vignette to 1 take away f times 2. Save. Is there anything wrong? Let's see. No, okay, good. So as I said, now I'm going to call these two functions, enable vignette and set vignette, from my visual scripting. And to do that, I go back to Unity, edit, project settings, visual scripting, and I'm going to add on the type options, I'm going to add my visual effects controller. And in the node library, I need to add something. I don't remember. Let's see. Visual. No.
Oh, the camera's gone.
Oh yeah. Look at that. It's out of battery, perhaps?
Yeah, probably battery. Is it plugged in? Probably not.
It seems to be. Well,
we're back in the game?
No.
Ah, the game. I'm going to plug in.
Yeah. It is out of battery.
I'm going to find the charger for it.
We're still here in the meantime. Trust us. So what I did here is I've to the visual script types, I've added my visual effects controller class. So I'm able to get these Yeah, we're back for now.
We are back in the game.
So I can call these functions I've created on my visual scripting script machines. So what I'm gonna do is, let's get my, so this is the, so this is the food collision. Where's the food collision? Here it is. So I'm gonna edit the food collision graph. And what I wanna do is, I'm going to create a subgraph and I'm going to call it vignette control.
So you're creating a node that links to a C# script. Is that what you're doing?
No. So what I did, I created the C# script because I can't, on visual scripting, I can't
control it.
get the volume profile vignette types. And what I'm going to do now is on visual scripting, I'm going to call these functions here to manipulate my vignette. So on my vignette control subgraph, I'm going to have an entry point, and I always like to add an exit point just to be on the safe side. And then I will create a variable of the type visual effects. And well, the name is going to be visual effects, and the type is visual effects controller, which is the class I've created. And the value over here, I'm going to put my, oh, I haven't added. I need to add the visual effects controller script I created, and I add it to my Seagull. And I have here my volume profile variable, which is in the global. Actually, if I click here, it's going to show up. There you go. Which is the one I will be manipulating with the blur and the vignette and everything. Oh, see you soon, Dan. Sorry that you have to go,
yeah,
but thank you for joining us, and join us next week. Okay, so I set up visual effects. I have the variable. Now let's get back to our graph, and over here I can select my Seagull, and the Seagull. I select the Seagull because now the Seagull have the visual effects controller script. So I'm gonna start by getting a couple of variables. I'm going to need my size, and I'm going to need my visual effects reference. And I'm going to start by checking if my size is less than 1. So as I said, I want to start adding the vignette effect between, I want to use the vignette effect between sizes 1 and 0.5. So I need to start by checking if my size is less than 1. And I'm going to throw this answer on an if. And if my size is smaller than 1, I'm going to get my visual effects reference, and I'm going to call my enable vignette function. And this is the cool part, because this is enable vignette function is the function that I've created here. It's this guy here, and I can call it on visual scripting. So over here, I'm going to enable, so my parameter is going to be true. I'm going to enable the vignette, and then I'm going to call set vignette, and the value that I'm going to pass is my size. So I'm going to pass the size as a parameter to my set vignette, and that's it. Now, if our size value is 1 or bigger, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable my vignette. I'm going to call enable vignette and send false as parameter. And back to my main graph. So over here, I'm going to call the vignette control, and over here as well. So these are the two. So this here is the end of the line of the logic when the Seagull tries to eat something that it is allowed to eat. So something that's smaller than Seagull. And this is the end of the line of the code when the Seagull tries to eat something that is bigger than it is. So that's why I'm calling vignette control from both sides. So because I need to update the vignette on both occasions. Maybe this is it.
Is it going to work?
Is it going to work? Fingers crossed. So let's see.
There's a complex set of graphs you got there.
Yeah. And you know, I always forget the silliest of things. Maybe I haven't set a variable or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to bump my head on the shark, and let's see what happens. It is working. Look at that.
That was cool.
So we are now, you know, as I said, we are manipulating the visual effects from our code.
Very cool.
Yeah. And one thing that I forgot is that when it is game over, actually it is working. It's heading back. Yeah, amazing. I always love when things work from the first try. Okay, so this was vignette, and the one we're gonna do now is, as I said, when I press my left shift, the Seagull flies faster. And I want to add a couple of effects here. I'm going to apply, actually 3 effects. I'm going to apply chromatic aberration. So, you know, the borders of the screen have split colors. I don't even know if that makes sense because you're flying faster. But anyway, just so.
Oh, maybe.
And then we're going to enable motion blur, which is enabled right now. I'm going to disable by default. And we're going to apply some lens distortion. On my tests, I was applying a lens distortion of minus 0.7. It may be too much.
It's like boosting in burnout or Need for Speed or something.
Yeah, exactly. And cool. So, again, we need to manipulate this in code because Visual Scripting does not support either rendering, Unity Engine rendering, Unity Engine rendering.university.
Does Visual Scripting support most other stuff, or is it?
It does actually. You know, from the get-go on this stream, when we're using Visual Scripting.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
This is the first thing there's no support.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, it's pretty good.
Sehr gut.
So what we're doing again, we're doing chromatic aberration. Let's call it CA. And then motion blur, and B, and the last one was lens distortion, LD. Cool. Now I'm going to get references to all of these. So 1, 2, 3. Chromatic aberration. It's going out to CA. Motion blur. Going to MB. And lens distortion into LT. Cool. So now I have reference of these, and we are going to do now on my update. I'm going to start with something simple, and then I'm going to make it a little bit more complex. Actually, part of it we can do on our public void enable effects. B. And over here, I'm going to, so chromatic aberration, active equals B, lens distortion, active equals B, motion blur, active equals B. Which one am I missing here? Oh, right? No, that's it, the 3, okay. And I'm going to go back to Unity. I need to refresh my Visual Scripting so I have this new function available. Edit, project settings, Visual Scripting, regenerate nodes. And at first it's not going to look great, but we will improve that, so no worries. Okay, it's still updating. There we go, regenerated. And now I'm going to go to my Seagull and movement controller. I'm getting my left shift here, and I'm just going to move. I'm going to get my visual effects variable. I'm going to call, what is the name of the function I did again? Enable effects. Enable effects, and I'm going to call this here and here, and I'm going to pass as parameter if I'm pressing or not my left shift. Again, let's hope this works. And now when I press shift, everything should work. Let's see. Here we have our Seagull. I'm going to press shift. Oh, look at that.
There we go.
We have chromatic aberration, we have motion blur, and we have the lens distortion.
Nice. I guess we need to ease between those values eventually.
Absolutely, that's what we're going to do next.
Oh wow.
Yeah, especially, I mean, for maybe not for chromatic aberration and motion blur, but
definitely for
the lens distortion for sure. And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go back to my script, and I'm going to have to add a couple of variables here. I'm going to do a private float interp equals 0 and a private blue LG enabled. Okay. On my update, I'm going to check if input get key down and input key code left shift. So when I press my left shift, meaning when I start to glide, I'm going to reset my interpolation value, and I'm going to set LD enabled to true. Otherwise, if I get my key up, I'm going to set the interpolation to true and set LG enabled to false. And then I'm going to check if LG enabled, meaning if I'm gliding, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my lens distortion intensity to a lerp between 0, actually not 0, between, is it? Sorry, I'm thinking, oh no, actually it is 0 minus 0.7, I think it is. 0.7 and, sorry. I'm going to explain what lerp does in a second. Otherwise, if LD is not enabled, meaning if I'm not gliding, then I'm going to revert the value back to from minus 0.7 to 0 using interp, and then I increase interp value using time delta time times 0.1f because I already tested it out, and that's a good value. So lerp, what lerp does is it gets a value between value A and value B, so over here 0 and minus 0.7, and interp is the percentage of this value. So let's say that, so on one end you have 0, on the other hand that's minus 0.7. So if interp is 0, then your value is going to be 0. If your interp is 0.5, which is 50% of the way between the two values, I would return minus 0.35 here, which is the halfway between 0 and 0.7. If interp equals 1, then I will return minus 0.7. So I'm smoothly moving between the two values, and I hope this will work. And I haven't forgotten anything. Let's see.
I reckon it's going to work. Last time it did, even though we doubted ourselves.
I'm on a lucky streak. When I was doing the interface, it went pretty smoothly. Oh, you see? There's an error.
Oh.
Cannot convert from double to float. Which one is that? Okay. No. This is 0. That should work.
Come on, Unity, do your thing. Reload everything. Okay, cool.
Okay. It is not.
It's difficult to tell, isn't it? It doesn't seem to be working.
It is no. It is jumping, but it is not increasing. Doesn't look like, does it? Does it look like it's increasing?
What's supposed to be happening?
The
Oh yeah, it is increasing.
No, it is increasing.
Just slowly.
Yeah.
Do you keep it?
Yeah, maybe 0.1 was too much. Let's help ourselves. It's going to add a serialized feed. Oh no. Let's see, private float, times interp rate, save, and but when it went back, it was fast, and that was an issue I was having before. So let's see. Yeah, look at that. Whoosh. But the return is too fast. Oh, joining out of the people.
Look at these guys having a party down there.
Oh, they still don't have gliders. Why is it jumping back? Shouldn't be jumping back.
Where did that turkey come from? Did you add that yourselves as well?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you eat
Jermaine added it.
you can eat it, I guess, when you get big enough.
Yeah, we need to set up colliders for
Got your fountain and everything. It's looking.
And
Is that a turkey driving a tractor?
it's a chicken doing maths. Drive it
What the hell? Where do you get a chicken doing maths from?
from the browser, from anything browser.
Wow.
And so is the tractor from the browser. And I still need to. Where's the tractor? Is gone. I still need to check if the answer is right for the chicken, you know. Okay, so yeah, I need to figure out why the lerp, when going back, it jumps. It shouldn't jump, but it is jumping, and I need to figure out why. But well, we are manipulating stuff, manipulating post-processing effects using code. And
Very cool.
shut up, computer. And that was it for today. What do you think, Gordon?
I am very impressed. Can we have another look at the before and after?
Oh,
Can we do the
yes.
before and after when we're in play mode for a maximum
Absolutely.
maximum impact?
Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm really impressed with how much better it looks.
But prepare your eyes, because it is painful.
Okay.
So I'm going to
Fly down with the effects on, and then we can turn them off.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to fear, because I need to. Oh my god. Okay, I need to get some height. Okay, I'm gonna stop moving for a while, and
Disgusting.
Oh my god, it looks so different.
It looks horrible, doesn't it?
I'm not gonna say it looks horrible.
Yes, it does. It looks horrible, Jay.
It looks generic.
We're here to tell the truth. It looks horrific. Put it back on.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Everything looks yellowy.
Yeah. It looks like looks urine stained. That's what it looks like. And when you put that on Steam, they'll be like, "What a pile of urine."
If you
That's what all the Steam users would say.
see, so I think the message is, it doesn't take a lot of effort to make your game look way better. You know, so apply that. Apply that, and your game is going to shine. Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody that joins. Gordon, why don't you put our Discord link one more time?
Oh, one more time.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. That was super cool, Jay.
If you have any questions, if you want to learn more, if you want to talk about anything world, animate anything, the browser, look us up on Discord, or on social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, TikTok. We're more than happy to talk with people and help you on your journey on anything world, and even game development in general. Feel free to hit us up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Excellent.
Upstairs Girl. Would be lovely to meet you one day in real life. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Thank you, everybody.
Chippy Fibby.
And I won't be here next week, but I'm sure there's going to be a stellar cast of people here doing amazing stuff.
Cool.
So thank you so much, and
Thanks,
we'll see
everybody.